Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all everywhere. I'm Tanetta, and today I am following up on the narcissist, except this time I'm talking about people who have been abused by narcissists, the victims of narcissists, and what that could look like for them. So I talked a lot about the narcissist, 2 episodes, full and long and detailed. And this time I'm just gonna go over like what mental trauma you can get from being abused by a narcissist. All right, so time is of the essence. So I'm gonna try to go through this really fast, really, because I have some place to be. And so I just really wanted to talk about these victims because there's sometimes the victims of narcissists could be seen as narcissists because they've lived with them, they've dealt with them, they've been with them. And I'm not talking about people on the workplace. I mean, you could pick up some of their characteristics, but more intimate, like if you've loved our narcissist, like been in a relationship one way or another, or in relationships we think of just boyfriends, girlfriends, and girlfriends, whatever, not just those type of intimate relationships. I mean, like a parent, a brother, a sister, somebody, especially if we really look up to them, like the headship, like the authoritarian. A lot could really do a lot of damage, like a lot of trauma. It could really put someone through emotional trauma. And so this mental abuse is what I'm going to talk about it. So I want to get through it really fast. And so just some of the things that people, you probably looked at the other ones, and you probably watched the other videos or got tired because they're long. You do have to set aside time to really watch them because they are tedious, and they're really for the person who's really trying to understand narcissism, if they live with narcissist person, work with a narcissist, and really want to know the details of what's going on. So there's lots of examples in there. This, I'm really going to go over the list, kind of give a little bit of example and move forward. I have lots of videos to get out today, and I have a client to meet up with today, so I'm going to work this kind of fast. So the victims of narcissists could be experiencing this going on in their life. Restlessness. I don't know if my air conditioner is loud. Let me just turn it down because it's on max. Okay, so restlessness, like people who are like fidgeting all the time, have to have constant movement, resembling like an ADHD. Remember, narcissists aren't born, they're made, and so people pick up their traits too, and they too can become narcissists. But you know, I know there's a lot of debate in that because doctors are diligently researching it still, and so I just wanted to say that. But they could be restless, have sleepless nights, like can't really think because they're thinking. Can't really sleep because they're thinking too much. They think about a lot of the things that went on in those relationships with a narcissist, like what they could have done right, could they have done it better. It really has nothing to do if you're the person who's gone through. I'm just going to address it as though it's you. If you're the person who's gone through it, it really wasn't your fault. And so, but you tend to take on like, man, was there something that I did? Could I have done it better? What can I do to make it better? Let me prove to them that I can make this work. So you tend to overthink a whole lot. You also have an unsettledness about you where you might do things like pull your hair. There are some people who have bald spots from pulling their hair, smack their teeth, bite their lip, doing the leg shake, tapping your finger all of the time, tapping a pen, like constantly. There's this unsettled stress. You've earned some anxiety, and so that's another one. You have this anxiety, and you've been on edge since you've been in this relationship with this person. The longer the duration, the more intensity of the trauma that you've gone through. If it was in the beginning and you got out of it, then you probably suffered some abuse, but not quite the actual trauma of it. And so I meant to have like the whole clinical definition of trauma. I'm sorry, but anyway, you probably are a people pleaser. You want to please people. It took forever to try to please that narcissist person, and you could really never get to that space. Don't take it personal. It's not about you. It was always about them. Always. But you probably were a people pleaser before you got with them, which is why they took interest in you. So now start doing things for yourself and start learning the things that please you, and then learning what are healthy boundaries. I do encourage you, this is my disclaimer, you cannot take anything off of any YouTube, TikTok, any social media and run with it. I don't care who it is, even if it is a doctor, a professional in our own rights as therapists, etc. This is not a clinical experience. This is not a clinical intimate moment sitting one-on-one with someone. Please do not self-diagnose. These videos are good because they're helping people, especially people who have no medical insurance. But at the end of the day, we are not your medical provider. I encourage you to find a medical provider who could help you. There are services that are free for mental health services. Go to some of the universities. The students are eager and anxious and excited to help. If they have that program, they do a lot of community things. Ask them about that. So going on, restlessness, anxiety, people pleasing, depression. After dealing with a narcissist for a long time, you probably hit depression really hard when they decided to leave you, or even if you made the choice to leave them, to get away from family members, whatever it took. You're gonna hit depression really hard, and you're gonna hit it really hard because they really took you through a lot of trauma. And so it's unfortunate because if you're in a new relationship already before having the opportunity to heal, you probably look like a narcissist. You're going through all of some of these the same things, and you have a lot of these symptoms as well because you've been traumatized. It's smart not to go and look for your savior in the next relationship. You have got to save yourself. Go get help and heal correctly. You probably have a negative disposition. Now, everything that I say doesn't mean that you are going to fall in. This isn't a DSM criteria that says you need all these things to be the victim of a narcissist. These are just some things that a lot of victims go through. And so you probably are negative. You probably are real funky. You probably look at the glass half empty. You used to look at it half full, or just a half a glass, but now you go, that bad boy is half empty. You are doubting everything. You're not sure anything works. You're not sure of yourself. You've lost confidence in yourself. You've lost confidence in people. The very people that you trust the most are the very people who let you down. So it's really hard for you to trust anybody else. And when you have a new loving relationship coming into play, whether it be a child or intimate lover relationship, you're going to doubt it, uncertain when the real thing comes around, because it's what you've been through. You have to allow yourself to heal. Unfortunately, if the real thing comes around and you haven't healed yet, you're not ready for them. They can't heal you. They can't love you through it, just the way you couldn't love your narcissist through what they were going through. You'll end up lacking motivation and interest of the things that you enjoyed because you've been trying to please your narcissist. And so it's really hard to get back in. You've probably included your narcissist in a lot of things, and so now you think it's about you and the narcissist. It's not. Or just the things you really haven't learned yourself. Like, I remember going through divorce, and when you're divorced, you're kind of meshed in with that person. Well, I like lemonade. I like pink lemonade. And so I recognize that when I get into relationships, people like pink lemonade with me. And so I'll start feeling like, is that my idea? Am I picking up them? Like, what is it that everybody's picking up this pink lemonade thing? So I'll start moving to another drink just so I can have my individuality. But the truth and the fact is that afterwards I have to go, who am I? Oh, I'm the girl who likes pink lemonade. I've always liked pink lemonade. Okay. I don't know if you've seen Runaway Bride. Watch the movie. She lost some of her individualism in those relationships were with aches. So just watch the movie. It's an old movie with Julia Roberts. All right, keep moving on. But because you're very negative, very pessimistic, you'll lose your motivation, you'll lose your interest in the things that you like. Or maybe your narcissist took those things from you. So because you weren't allowed to listen to your music, you weren't allowed to ice skate because you were too busy taking care of their needs, you lost your interest then. So now when you're on your own, you don't know how to be your own individual person. Lack of self-control. You can be very impulsive because you are anxious to express the feelings that you weren't allowed to express before. And if you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, you probably argued a whole lot. And now you're a little bit more impulsive than usual. Illogical and irrational reactions. You've been given distorted beliefs from your narcissist. They have given you things that did not make sense, but you somehow started to embrace that. I know you did because you argued with them. And so you started to embrace it. You probably even questioned some of the stuff that they said, like, am I? Did you? Like, you had to start recording stuff to make sure that you said what you said because they were gaslighting you. And because of that, that was some distorted beliefs. So the results is that you start having distorted thinking. I like to call it stinking thinking. And you, in turn, now have irrational behavior because you've done things living in a very irrational relationship. You're probably been jaded because you've been in this relationship. This relationship is bad. And so it can leave you vengeful. It could leave you thinking that you can't trust anyone anymore. You can trying to look at my notes. Y'all know I'll be scribbling stuff, right? It's like you can't let go of the baggage of things, and so you'll keep looking at new relationships as waiting for that person to kind of hurt you, or I'm not going to get into this relationship because, or you'll find yourself obligated to the relationship that you're really not in. So you're in bondage of the old relationship. So because of that, you're jaded. All women are alike because they did this. No, your ex-wife did that. The rest of these women aren't. Give another woman a chance. Or, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. You know what? I don't talk to my mother no more. I don't talk to anybody. I can't deal with no family whatsoever. Okay. Yeah, sometimes we need to move away from family. We need to do what we need to do to stay healthy. But they're still your family, sending the occasional card, calling and saying hello, whatever. You don't want to go there because you're feeling so jaded, so mistreated. You don't even try. Like, I know people who I don't want to get in a relationship with a man who has family. Why? They've got a beautiful, brilliant family. Unfortunately, you didn't have that, but you're jaded about family. Oh, I don't want kids because of everything that I went through. Such a hey, you best, but you could be a really good parent. You could find out that having a child could really change your life. And then you always complain about stuff. You might find that everything is a problem. You're always complaining about somebody, something, everything, because, well, it's what you're used to. You haven't been heard all of the time. And because you haven't been heard, you want to get heard. And so you'll complain about a lot of stuff. Or you become like the person, the narcissist, where you start nitpicking and talking about them a lot, about people a lot, like, oh, this person this person that, or maybe you just talk about your narcissist really, really bad to everybody, and that's actually your narcissist cycle, but now you're in it, so now you're complaining, like, about everybody in the church, everybody at your school, everybody at your job, everybody's the problem but you. That was your narcissist. Your narcissist was everybody was the problem except for them. Now you've picked up some of these traits, and you're just complaining about everything. And really, it's just because you haven't had an opportunity to be heard. Okay, so let's go into that. You haven't been heard. So your narcissist probably wasn't heard as a child. So they were looking for a lot of attention all of the time. And so now you were trying to get attention as well. And so I am moving and shaking. You were trying to get the attention as well. And now you're always trying to get attention because you've been deprived of it for so long. So those are my things about if you've been a victim of this mental abuse of a narcissist, and that is some emotional trauma that I just wanted to let you know. If you feel like, man, I've gone through some of those things, please get the help that you deserve, because I'm going to tell you from experience, you can't heal this by yourself. You can do a really good job of covering things up. You can do an excellent job of suppressing some of those things, but to actually heal from it, you need the help, you need the support, you need to be able to listen to someone to validate what you're going through. A professional can validate what you're going through and give you some tips along the way. That's all I've got for you today. It's record timing for me, 17 minutes. And so I've got much love for you. Have an excellent day.